I got you.
Y'all all rise and praise, infidels. That's right. Wake up, wake up. It's time for Reveille here at channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group. It's time to light the fuse. So put an extra shot in your coffee. Pack up your morning sativas. Light them up. Get ready to go. It's time to break down the show with the flamethrowers, the giants, Muay Thai, sexy flag raps, and more here on Light the Fuse, Hameen Media Group. YOLO!
Pound Town. We're going to Pound Town. Pound Town. In a Pound Town.
Pound Town, baby. Pound Town.
Pound Town, yeah. Come in here,
I feel
Brucey.
like my booty hole's brown right now. I got taken to Pound Town by Ravens joint last night, man. Holy shit, a long day. And back in the fucking kayfabe bosses area, as you guys have seen it on other shows, but I'm glad to be back here. Breakdown Light the Fuse is the chat room here at Ben Hameen YouTube channel, twitch.tv/Hameen Media fills up. And as always, channelattitude.com for the most hardcore subscribers and Bearcats out there. But I got to say, I'm always glad to be back in the studio with who you know, my man MSG, doing it real big out here on the east side. Got his studio set back up for the new Suck My Balls studio, east side, doing everything over there, man. So it's good to be back with you this morning, Matty.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I'm find it comical. I don't know if you experienced up in your part of New York a little bit of a heat rise in the temperature we've experienced the last week or so.
Yeah.
It's going to continue to get hotter, and I just had to hear people complain. It's so hot. It's so hot. I'm like, this is like September weather in fucking Arizona.
Well, when you go from, you weren't here when it was 20 below. When you go from 20 below to that, people fucking lose it. I'm not sure, Maddie. I hear, I mean, you sound okay. I'm not sure you're coming through your computer, or I just hear like a big fan in the background. I don't know if you got one like right on you or not. You just want to check your settings. There you go.
There you go. Sorry about that.
It's all good, then.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hot. Or to some people, it's not hot to me. That was the consensus. What up, chat? Thanks for joining us here. Light the fuse as we get started here on a late Thursday, but that's okay because well, there was some weird stuff to talk about on what the fuck that show was. I have no idea what it was.
The bait. You know, I gotta say, obviously, since I'm doing the notorious open to close to open, so I'm as punchy as it gets right now. But yesterday, I really did miss out on the SmackDown Live self-help group. Big shout out to Brando. Let's go, Brandon. Over there, the Impact Attack. He's been doing a lot of great hosting on the Hameen Media Group YouTube side, so the Bearcats can still gather. I love that. But last night, man, I was sad that I missed it because I got the notifications in the HMG Facebook that we broke new records last night, Maddie. New record, 19 belts in 1 2-hour fucking show.
19, almost to 20.
And a flamethrower. So
I mean, well, we got blood and a flamethrower. Is what we got
in the first seg. So, quite a fucking show, I guess. Will it do anything to get people to tune in? No, because they didn't light anybody on fire with a flamethrower. If they would have actually sacrificed an indie guy to the fire gods, we would have been okay. But I would have loved to have been on last night doing my karaoke jams and hanging with all the hardcore Bearcats as they hit 19. I hope there was a big pop at the other chat while they were watching along. But it's just 19 belts in 2 hours. If you don't know that you're a total asshole and don't know what you're doing booking wise, that should tell you the entire story, that there's 19 belts in your 2-hour show, that every belt on that show means absolute zero.
19 belts, man. That is a lot of belts.
It's idiotic.
I'm like sitting here doing math, and that's an average of 3.15 belts every, I don't know, specific kind of amount of minutes or something like that. That's a lot of belts.
It's
every
stupid.
10 minutes.
It should show you exactly how ridiculous it is. Instead, they didn't stop at 17. They said, "Hold my beer," and go for it. Bobo said there was 12 belts in the first 30 minutes of the show. So if everybody's a champion, nobody's a champion. The person without the belt with a storyline that revolves around emotion and their character is far more important than any person on the AEW roster.
We got a belt. You've said there, the two most important things, right, are Blood Feud and whatever else was. Now we've got Fire Feud. We got to add Fire Feud to the
Fire Feud. I mean, I wish I was there. We could roll Fire started, but this would be absolutely blocked out of the gate. So, yeah, man. I guess whatever stunt show, spectacular stuff you got to do to try and keep people interested, but nobody was sticking around to watch that end clip with the big stunt. All they're going to do is watch it today on social media in a 30-second soundbite. So, but like I said, would love to hang with the Bearcats last night. Hopefully you guys had a great time doing the community thing while I was busting my ass doing the weed thing. And we're back at it this morning. But, yeah, there was another huge influence by the Bearcats, by the maybe not the AEW self-help group, but the SmackDown Live self-help group. We all know how Sexy Red really brought us all together with took us to Pound Town, and now all you have to do is be a ghetto whore princess made by the Illuminati who sells sex like a prostitute and have no musical talent, and you too can be on NXT.
So let's just to recap: Pound Town okayed NXT. Joni Lore China still can't get inducted to the Hall of Fame, but that's okay. Pound Town can come to NXT.
Yeah. Booty hole brown, coochie, all that coochie pink, booty hole brown. What did Suki say? Not on my tits.
I'm looking for my pappy. Sorry.
Yeah, where the baby daddy's at.
Baby daddy's at.
So that's the level.
Yeah, I booked Pound Town before I left.
Yeah.
One
We're
more.
gonna need an NDA, but if anybody's going to Pound Town, I'm going to NXT, pal. Yeah.
Vince just shows up next week on NXT and he's dancing with them.
He's in Sexy Red's entourage. But, even though this is AEW show, we obviously recognize the HMG comedy because we've been playing that song since it dropped as a rip, right?
I had to explain to Big Ray what it was because he had no idea. And he was like, this is absolute trash. And I was like, yeah, that's what's coming to NXT next week, buddy.
So it seems to be on brand for everything. Why wouldn't you bring Sexy Red? And again, they're bringing her in. She's underground hip hop. You want little girls talking about Pound Town, Booty Hole Brown, and Pound Me? Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing here. And they should have, if you're going to put the ghetto superstar musician, then you got to put her with EST. Why are we not doing that? If you got EST coming out, slapping her ass, whipping her hair around, saying Queen of the Ring, using Ebonics and fucking making African Americans look urban and less than, and that's Sexy Red's whole gimmick. So why wouldn't you bring her in to let the alpha African American females shake their ass and get the rub from it? I can't think of anybody in NXT who's made waves as the hip hop ghetto version. Really, if there was anybody, it'd be like B-Fab and whoever else they got up there now that they put with the Street Profits. But NXT.
Where, hey, Ben, question, do you know where all the white knights are that usually come out about the fact that they get mad over about TV, but now we're going to be showing, this on WWE TV? Like, because everybody, the fans in the past have complained to Snickers, right, to try and get stuff pulled because they didn't like what they saw. But Pound Town's okay. We're Pound Town on NXT.
It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question you pose there. Why is it okay, Matt?
Oh, because it's Pound Town. It's a booty hole because it's women. It's sex sells.
It's a booty hole and because sex sells. Absolutely. And who's selling the sex, Matt?
Sexy Red, but in this case, it will be WWE. They'll be selling it on NXT, right? No.
You think Sexy Red worked hard?
Oh God, no. Hold on, I think you might be freezing up there.
Yeah, she didn't work hard. How did Sexy Red get famous?
A YouTube video?
And who runs YouTube?
Google? Oh, the CIA? Gotcha. The CIA runs YouTube. So that's why she's a plant, is what you're trying to say. She's the plant. She's the big
100%.
star.
Have I been not saying with Saudi deals and USOs and da 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 da? And now you're asking the question: how does
I'm sorry. I didn't know she was looking for her new pappy at NXT. You know, my bad.
How does a talentless whore from the ghetto you could switch any woman in there that you wanted to and write her some demoralizing song that puts women's vaginas on sale? Because that's where we're at right now. There is no equality. They've monetized sex to the point that the relationship is gone, and that a woman's value is only really what her OnlyFans masturbation value is. That's the entire fucking id of Sexy Red. And they're gonna march out just like they did with I don't give a fuck Doja Cat, a nobody, another Illuminati plant, fucking to all the white girls that came from Disney. You can go right back down the line to Beyonce and the rest of them, bro. At least she's got a little more talent than Sexy Red. They just wanted a higher class Illuminati priestess.
This ain't Texas.
Yeah, here they go right to the bottom of the barrel. And the only reason why someone would get on PG-13 product when they're obviously a rated X fucking act, and everything that surrounds them is controversial and over-sexualized, and you want to keep it a certain way, you want to empower young black girls. Is that what I'm hearing? But
I'm just more confused that WWE is trying to distance itself away from a lawsuit where a chick is purporting that she got shat on by the fucking CEO and owner of the company, but let's bring in Pound Town.
Yep. This is the fucking talking out both sides of our mouth.
Yeah.
Where they fucking, everyone will be like, oh, and Sexy Red took a bump. Did you see that? Like, you know, whatever the fuck, dude. Like, that'll be the talk, as opposed to, how did these fucking talentless hacks even get a shot in the music business and become Illuminati whore properties? And then when you see them inserted into the equation of fucking major brands like this that already have are a front for whatever's really going on in the world. It's not just like a rapper's coming to NXT. There's a way bigger picture in this. But the marks and the 85% sheep at home have no idea why or how that's happening. But hey, cue the princesses of Compton to come out and be empowered, and then cue Sexy Red and let them know that all they're really worth is pink coochie and booty hole brown. Get me booty hole brown.
Get Booty hole Brad. I'm putting that on my board later. Well, I mean, there wasn't much. I know I watched NXT, and there wasn't a lot of big wrestling news, whatnot. You guys seem to have more of a fiery or at least Vince Russo seemed to have more of a fiery conversation this week. He was hot. He was hot on this week's edition of Raw and SmackDown Review. So you can go check that out on channelattitude.com.
I mean, what is there to talk about? I mean, the Chad Gable angle is going to get 4 segments on the show. I'm going to snatch your soul. And I'll bet on me, Sami Zayn, a person with skill, or the person who's got the most soul in the these are just gripping fucking TV segments. And Otis, you better do what I say, Otis. So like, they're like, just like Vince said, right after WrestleMania, we're right back to mailing it in. Everything is exposed as bullshit because all the draws made their money and they went back to wherever they come from. You can hope that Logan Paul might save a segment here or two there, but when you're writing 4 segments of Alpha Academy bullshit where, come on, Otis, just turn on Chad Gable and be your own man. Like, oh my God, dude. It's just fucking abysmal.
This is an interesting thing that was up on Wrestling Inc. Shout out to Keeping It 100. This is from Conan, and I think it parlays the conversation we're talking about. So Conan said on the May 6th edition, or he was talking about the May 6th edition, of WWE Raw, and he was puzzled as to why WWE has Natalya lose so often following her first round loss to Io Sky in the Queen of the Ring tournament. He said, it was a good match. Natalya's always in shape. She looks good, can still go, but she never wins. They never take her seriously. And I don't know why they do her like that. And that just, that's a great question itself, because WWE is promoting Sexy Red coming to NXT. You've got Natalya, who we've talked about in the past with her and her sister on her YouTube doing sexy stuff. Why aren't we promoting an in-house asset that we already have in that regard and having to go out and get other people? Or why are we pushing Natalya down and trying to distance ourselves from her and not making her the biggest star she can be because of her YouTube profile and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, the stuff with her sister and whatnot is, it's for the IG masturbators, and if that's what they want to do,
well, that's what
fine,
her Pound Town is too, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess, but at the same time, Natty's actually trying to hold up a dynasty and legacy of the Hart family, right? So I get what you're saying. I just don't know if the two white Canadian girls are the ones to put over the Pound Town shit. But in regards to why do they keep burying Natty, it probably was half a rib to start with, right? When there was the kitty ears and all that type of shit that they wanted to do back then. When there's millions of dollars written on Natty Neidhart as from the Hart family legacy, probably one of the top 3 women wrestlers on the planet, without a doubt. I put her right there with Deeb, and you can fill out your favorite third after that. But they look at her when you get to a certain age, and they keep bringing up these girls from NXT who are early 20s, zero experience, don't know how to work a crowd, don't really know how to sell from one move to the next. They just move into the next position, and it looks completely choreographed. There's no artistry in their stuff. They're just doing paint by numbers, where Natty can cover that because of how good she is. So Natty's value to those in the upper echelon is, we got to get this fucking green ass girl over and not be exposed. Who can cover up her flaws and walk her through a match while she's looking like a deer in headlights? Well, that's Natty Neidhart, to be able to, hey, you get fucked up and I can take care of you. Where all you got to do is look back 2 weeks ago with Jade Cargill and Damage Control number 2 or 3. I can't remember which Asian it was she was fighting. They get completely lost in the middle of the match. The referee's telling her, you're not legal, tag out. They go 2 more minutes till Asuka can get into the ring and get things back on track. Whoever it was, fucking Io Sky or whoever, and Jade. No, like, first you have the language barrier, and then you got a girl who has no idea how to really work, and if something goes wrong, she's depending on the more senior performer to walk them through that. And they got so far off base. That's where people go, if Natty was in there, that shit never would have happened, right? So that's really her value to WWE, and how they see it. How you and I see it, completely different. The legacy of Bret Hart, the legacy of her father, Jim the Anvil, the fact that they never brought in Harry Smith and put them together. Because when I was at OVW, those two all 3 of them showed up. What's fucking the controversial cousin with the cats?
Teddy,
right? So they were the Hart dynasty, and Teddy's heat kind of killed that.
Yeah.
But Baby Bulldog is fucking a legit shooter who's been busting his ass for 3 years. Millions of dollars written on Harry Smith. We do nothing there. Like, it's crazy to me how they had this model of Randy Orton's success set up, and here's people you can plug right into that fucking dynamic, and instead we're doing cat ears and fart jokes and team titties and biceps or whatever we're doing, So there's just a lot of bad decisions that are probably politically based or test based, I would say, on that.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a little bit of news here. Let's get into AEW Dynamite from this week. Of course, it emanated from Bakersfield, California. The Baker Boys, California, the SoCal Boys itself.
Bakers.
Somebody's getting baked. You know where you can get baked. You can go to Raven's Joint. up in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Check them out. Or you can go online. Now they're doing deliveries. So,
Yeah, we are.
order
I
some
did
weed.
3 yesterday.
You
3
did 3.
deliveries.
Nice. How is that? What's the reaction of those people when you come to the door? I got your weed, brother.
Yeah, actually, they're all pretty pumped. When somebody shows up at your house at weed, you're like Santa Claus, right?
That's true. And you get the beard, so I guess like they just made them jolly.
Yeah, it's all paid for online, so I'm not worried about getting. Not that I'm ever really worried about getting held up because you better come with it. But
So this week's episode of Dynamite kicked off with a tag match. We had Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay taking on Trent Beretta and Roderick Strong. The match ended with Roderick Strong and Beretta defeating Orange Cassidy. Wardlow took out Will Ospreay on the outside and then allowed Roderick Strong to hit Orange Cassidy with the end of Heartache to score the pinfall for his team. Thoughts on this opening match? I will say before you get into it, I was kind of like, oh, we're doing a tag match. But by the end of it, I actually thought it ended pretty well. I don't know. I liked what they did toward the end of the match. What did you think of in total itself?
Yeah, I mean, Will Ospreay did a good job at both selling and getting his shit in this match. I am becoming more of a proponent of Ospreay. I don't like that synchronized swimming style that him and Ricochet were kind of known for. You know what I mean? Where it's just like they're trying to do the Jerry Lynn, Rob Van Dam sequence and reinvent it, and it just looks more and more fucking phony. Of like we want to be in the Matrix, like part 4 or whatever. Like it seems like they're auditioning for that. Yeah, I thought this match had some cool action in it to set off quickly. You know, Wardlow's attack on Will from behind was pretty good, made him look strong and evil. But Wardlow, another guy that has millions of dollars written on him that they cannot get out of the fucking gates as an individual. I don't understand why. If there was somebody for Goldberg to mentor and bring in, that might be the way to go with that. But what I don't like, we're getting color in the first match, and we're wiping they're wiping the guy's blood on my face. So, hey, everybody, we got all our shit in. We jumped out of the ring 6 times. We did an attack on the outside and got color. Follow that. Now everybody gets to go wrestle after that. So again, Baby Booker 101 doesn't understand that if you get color and do all the outside fighting in the very first segment, the rest of the show has not much place to build to. That being said, they kind of, I'll eat crow on that. They did build it because they had 2 more big Joey Styles, oh my God, spots in this show. So I just would never allow a show that I was writing to be open with color unless it was something probably backstage where like a bloodline is attacking somebody and fucking beating the fuck out of them to take them out, where at the end of the show they come back to do the Spirit of 76 and fucking come back. But I didn't have a ton of problems with the quality or the way this show set off with good action.
Before we continue, Revamp says, can you please keep my little Wessel poodle, Molly Holly, in your well wishes? She's going for x-rays and testing for a probable surgery from a Mastiff dog that attacked her last May. So shout out to Revamp.
Yeah, dude, we're definitely thinking all the dogs of war out there, dude. Absolutely. And especially for your poodle, Molly Holly. I mean, come on. Everybody loves Molly Holly. There's no doubt about that. So, all the best Bearcat thoughts your way, man. I hope everything goes well, and I hope they don't fucking rake you over the coals at the veterinarians.
As he pointed out, following the match, Roger Strong hit Ospreay with the International Championship, busting him open, and then Beretta choked Cassidy out with Ogoplata on the outside, and then Strong hit Ospreay with that end of Heartache again. So, got blood, but that wasn't the only blood we were going to see in this show. But before we get to that blood, the Young Bucks were backstage handing out flyers of Darby Allin, informing them that that Darby itself is banned and is not allowed inside the arena tonight. Sanjay Dutt comes in and promises Matt and Nicholas that Satnam Singh will take care of Bryan Danielson as well. I want to say the guy, one of the security guards that was next to the Young Bucks, the guy I think with the longer hair, I forget what his name is right
Yeah.
now. But shout out to him. He's an indie wrestler because my friend Kabi hit me out. He's like, "Hey, check it out. That's my buddy. He's an indie wrestler."
Oh yeah.
So shout
Well,
out
that's
to him.
every that's a huge thing, right? Like,
Right.
so it seems like nothing, and you got to take your bumps or do whatever it is. But really, when you're at OVW or a Monster Factory and they're in the area, they're going to need security usually, and that's a quick way to like try and get on TV and get over. You know, Von Lyle is done, and you instantly can get in segments with John Cena or Brock Lesnar or
You're cutting
you
out
there?
in there.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Look at this. Sorry.
There's the dog.
But yeah, no, I was just saying that's a quick way to get on TV. Not quick, but like usually that's reserved for guys who are calling all the time or go to a school in your area. And you can go back through the years and see almost every WWE star at one time probably was either in No Way Jose's fucking Congo line or was a security guard or something along those lines, you know. So
Thoughts on AEW setting up the, what is it? The like, oh my gosh, Darby Allin's not going to be in the ring tonight. He's a banned from the, the arena. Them setting up the cliche person is banned from the arena, but they're going to end up being on the show plot point.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's stealing the moment for later. Like you're not setting up the oh my god, like he's here when you put over he's not here. Okay.
I mean, wouldn't it have been more funny since the Young Bucks all are about, making fun of the business? Couldn't they have reenacted like that whole backstage thing with Vince McMahon? Austin's here. Where is he? Take me to him. Take me to him. They should have done something like that, maybe with Darby or something like that.
All that stuff, bro. All that stuff. Everything they can do to rib WWE and wrestling history, so you can have the Twitter shit the next day butted up against it, like you know what I mean, the satire in the original. Yeah, that's basic and brilliant, Matt. Absolutely, and that's how far off we are from not even being able to do that on this show.
And I'm just a guy sitting at home. Death Triangle returned last night. Bullet Club came out to Bullet Club Bang Bang. They came out to the ring. And Jay White. They're making fun of Pac as far as Jay White not being able to pronounce his name or what's his name. White says Pac.
Yeah, that's a problem, dude. They like Jay White's another guy who I was real skeptical of when they brought him in as part of the Cool Kids Club because he's a fucking Euro spot, indie guy who got over and got to fucking Japan, and now we're all supposed to know who he is because some fucking dorks put him on a PWI meaningless 500 list, right? Another guy who weighs 160 pounds who probably couldn't really kick anybody's ass in a fight. But I watched his wrestling. He sells. He takes his time. I watched his promos. He's gotten more comfortable, better, and able to get things over how he should. But then, like last night, everything was way overwritten, way stupid, and things like this start to happen now.
Yeah, well,
hold on.
What you asked for? You begged us to make you care, so we just gave you exactly what you asked for.
I don't know if you could hear that or not, but he's trying to be all, let me get over. Tony's creative. And then somebody in the crowd yells, who wrote this shit? While there's crickets because no one gives a fuck. And they learned a hard lesson in scene work last night. They were all three there standing in the line, and then they're trying to rib Pac or whatever the fuck. Is it Pac or Pac? Is it Pac or Pac? And we try and do this bit that stops the entire flow of the show where they circle up. Well, I don't know. What do you think it is? Like a little inside team meeting. You just felt the energy get sucked out of that scene, bro. You felt the whole thing just wither and die right there. and 30 seconds later, your hardcore diehard ticket people are front rows are going, who wrote this shit? Exactly. Because we've got a lot of young actors who don't understand that when you're broken the fourth wall and then you recess back into an inner monologue part of the scene, there's no way to go. You just went from here to here. And now you wanted to keep them up here, but you got a long mountain to climb and you got 40 seconds left to do it. Good luck. You can't. And they didn't. And I don't put that on them because he's trying his ass off to do it. And the bullet bang bang gangs trying to yes and get their smarmy little barbs in too. But the whole scene just fell flat on its fucking face.
Yeah, so they do their promo, and then they said that Pac made 3 big mistakes. He stood there and looked at them instead of running the other way. He got involved in the Bullet Club's match with Rocky Romero, and then he begged them to make him care. Pac appeared on the Tron, warned them about a bit. He can't blame them because he asked for it. Pac admits that the 1-on-3 isn't fair, and he wants to introduce him to his amigos. So Pac returns with Penta and Phoenix. Phoenix makes his return off of injury. They come out on the stage, hit the ring, brawl with Bullet Club.
Phoenix been studying a lot of weather patterns, B12, listening to a lot of advice from his friends.
Yeah, he's been putting in the work. I will say the video package of Pac, I'm not hating on Pac or anything. I question a little bit of the production because like it was a really close up shot, and maybe I was just high, but I was just like, man, his pupils are really dilated in this promo. Wide eye, you know what I mean? It was like right up on his eyes. But it wasn't a bad promo or anything like that. So following this death, we had FTW champion Chris Jericho, Big Bill come to the ringside to do some commentary. Hook, Shibata, and the bounty hunter Brian Keith. Winner gets to fight Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing for the title. It ends with Hook and Shibata both tapping out Brian Keith at the same time to win the match. Highlights of this match for me were Taz and Jericho going back and forth on commentary, of course, with Taz not being happy about he changed the name. You know it's not for the world, Chris. You know it's not for the world. And just the bars back and forth between during the commercial breaks. What do you think of the ending of them? Because they have been, I guess, teasing, right? Jericho's he beat Shibata, he beat Hook, so it's the learning tree kind of gimmick. Are you cool with them pushing it into a triple threat match for this?
No.
Okay.
I thought the ending was stupid to do both guys win by submission. They both got a submission on them and tapped them out at the same time. So you both win. Both you beat this one guy. Congratulations. That got nobody over. It made the ref and the rules look stupid as fuck. Have we ever seen this before? Nope. First time ever that we've seen a double submission on a guy. You know why we don't see it? Because it doesn't work and it's dumb. Jericho on commentary is great. I feel for Taz because this whole thing is him writing it to get his kid over in a very same way that Paul E wrote it for Taz and ECW. So maybe even Paul E tried this at one time on a house show and Taz remembered it, but I don't remember this happening like this. But I smoke a lot of dope too. But I want, a guy who's proud of his kid to be, happy about what's going on out there. I think Jericho saved the scene at the end with his smarminess when he stood up, and that's what we're going to remember because that finish was as dumb and as confusing as the Nia Jax Jade Cargill finish last week, where you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? That was dumb. Hook also taking some advice in B12 and climate change, checking the maps. So Hook should have won here. The thing is, if Jericho's trying to force the learning tree on you, you as the counterpoint to that need solid wins to show that you don't need the learning tree, that you don't need to bend the knee to him. Instead, they had two guys win, and then Jericho tried to get his shit over. So we took away all the stakes of what it is of trying to convert a young Padawan into your mentoring program. These are basics, and it's unfortunate because I put the heat on Khan, and I'm not really trying to heat on anybody. It's just the fucking strange choices that don't make sense to me, A, B, or C, to heighten and explore the scene the right way. And I got to believe that Taz and Jericho have carte blanche when it comes to fucking directing, writing, and producing this segment. And who the fuck am I to tell Taz and Jericho what was wrong with it, I guess, but I just didn't like that finish. I thought it didn't help with the story leading into their pay-per-view.
Well, following this, we got some video packages. The first hyping the TBS Championship match between Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné. And then it was followed up by a package hyping Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for the Eliminator match for the IWGP Championship. Thoughts on
It's an eliminator. Sorry, yeah. Is an eliminator match a qualifying match?
That's AEW's terminology. So if you win the match, then you qualify to now be potentially a number one contender match, or you potentially now are the number one contender. In this case, I guess if Konosuke Takeshita wins, the caveat for this match is he can get a shot at the IWGP Championship, whether or not Moxley is the champion.
Who gives a fuck? What? It's a pay-per-view.
I know.
Pay-per-view, we do what? We pay off business. We don't do, and now you get to advance in the fucking da-da-da. That's in basic first, second, and third acts, right? Prologue to epilogue, whatever it is. The exposition in the second act is where we are here. And what you're doing, you on a pay-per-view, the second act belongs on TV. The third act, the finale, or the end that builds to the sequel happens on the payoff shows. You don't do qualifying matches on the fucking payoff show. That alone shows more complete, absolute asinine ignorance to me. Like, first time ever we're doing a fucking qualifier on a payoff show. Well, guess what? It's not a payoff show. Then it's just another TV with exposition, because you're doing second act work in the third act. Get a basic fucking script writing book, please. Anything at this point. Anything.
Yeah, it's very odd. They put a lot of you're right, because if we're talking about just the basic story parts just a basic 5 parts of a story, right? They're putting their exposition, their rising action, but they put their climax on TV before we even get the resolution. You know what I mean? Where that climax should be on the pay-per-view, right? The payoff of what we're getting.
Or they get fucking heat on a heel. A baby gets a payoff on a heel and stooges off the business for the pay-per-view, so you know who's going over. You know the heel's going over.
Yeah, they did that a lot tonight too.
Last week with Mercedes and fucking Willow.
Thank God we didn't have to hear a promo from her this week. Konosuke Takeshita defeated Matt Sydal. He hit Matt Sydal with the forearm to the face to score the victory. He continued to attack Sydal, and then Moxley came out. He hit Takeshita with the mic, knocked him out before telling him that he'll see him at Double or Nothing.
To have a match that doesn't pay anything off, that fucking then I'll see you at Double or Nothing, and if you beat me there, then we get to fight for a belt. Oh, okay.
The Young Bucks are backstage, still worried about Darby Allin, and they run into
and that's a baby face beating the fuck out of a heel before and leaving him laying before the pay-per-view.
There was a lot of that tonight. I thought that was odd.
Because we're dumb as fuck.
Yeah. The Young Bucks are backstage, still worried about Darby Allin, and run into AEW World Heavyweight Swerve Strickland, the champ. And I like Swerve, and I'm a big Swerve fan. But for Swerve to call them turds, I was like, come on, really? They're turds? Like, to me, I just instantly went to Shelly from South Park. Come here, you turds! You bunch of turds! And I'm just like, But other than that, I did like the remaining portion of the interaction. Hit my music. Gives them puts the gum on the flyer, crumples it up after saying he hasn't seen Darby Allin, and then he walks out. So I liked that part. I just didn't like him calling them turds. What did you think here?
I always pop for turds just because of the Mama Man Beast. He used to come out and go, "What's the word? Turds," in the ring. So no, I get it that a cool black guy who's fucking got hip hop style should not be saying turds. He should. There's fucking of fucking 100.
What up, honkies? You know, something
Yeah.
he could have given me, right?
It could be anything modern day that makes
Right.
them cool, simps or whatever the
Right,
fuck. You know what
simps,
I mean?
yeah.
Right, like something along those lines. Look at me teaching pop culture. You know, that fucking I like that in what went down with Christian too later, where he followed him out and then Prince Nana pulls the fucking cock block with the SUV so he can't escape. I thought that was good. You know, now we've seen the chase him getaway scene a lot, right? We saw it in WWE a lot in the last year. No one's done the head him off at the pass, and we got him trapped, and now let's whoop that ass. And he still escapes in a weaselly way, but I like that. Then it's a very simple choice, but usually you don't see that. The thwarting of the heel's escape for a minute to get a little retribution. I liked that part of the show don't tell because no one had to say anything. It was a very cool action sequence, and everybody either looked pissed off, coy and funny, or weaselly and got away, and nobody had to really do any plotty predicated shit.
Yeah, so just to wrap that up, what you're talking about, they had a match, Swerve Strickland taking on Nick Wayne, defeats Nick Wayne. This was an eliminator match too.
He killed Nick Wayne on the apron, bro, with that fucking bomb on the apron, dude. I think Nick's back, it was really like, I don't know, but not the wind out of him or just sent a whole spinal stroke through his body, but he was on the ground. Sorry, blackout city there for a minute. They were checking on him. And I was a little bit like, damn, are they going to throw up the X here? And that was just a transition move. That's nothing to do with anything. But while that's going, it didn't lead to any finish. But here's what kills me while I'm watching that. Everyone's going, Nick Wayne's a fucking piece of shit and da-da-da-da. Because they now aligned him with Christian, so he got the heel rub and all that. But they're recapping that the Swerve fucking feud with him goes back, and I go, yeah, Swerve went to his parents' house, broke into the dojo, and fucking left him a bloody mess after hitting him with his dead father's fucking picture, and they made Nick Wayne the youngest baby face on the roster, and only 3.5 months, 4 months later, fucking we've already flipped them, and Swerve's the fucking top cool guy, and we're supposed to hate Nick Wayne. Did I not watch that 4 months ago where you broke into his fucking house and left him a bloody mess? Did I not watch you do a home invasion and stand over the crib of fucking Hangman's kids? Yay, Swerve is what everybody's supposed to fucking think now. It's asinine.
Whose house? Swerve's house.
Or your house. He'll just come over to your house and fucking break in.
So to wrap it up, Swerve hit Nick Wayne with the house call, score the victory. Kill Switch attacked Strickland from behind after the match as Cage and Mother Wayne checked on Nick. Kill Switch then was left alone, and so Swerve took him out. Cage ran away, heads to the backstage area. Swerve chased him. I liked the line where Cage gets in the car, and they're like, oh, my God, it's Grand Theft Auto. He's committing Grand Theft Auto. Then he, as you mentioned, as he's trying to leave the arena, he's blocked by another black SUV, which is found to show Prince Nana drinking a cup of coffee. Strickland and Cage then brawl. Strickland hits a DDT on top of the white vehicle that Cage was in, and then he tried to smash him with a chair, but he escaped, as you mentioned. Yeah, I liked this segment. I thought this was really well done.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, so here's where we're going to get into where I've already seen the criticisms online. I saw this last night. They were like, oh, my God, AEW has now reached WCW 2000 levels because we had Malachi Black defeating Kyle O'Reilly. And after the match, the lights do kind of a weird orange brood kind of color glow. And then Malachi Black gets covered in blood from the ceiling. And then Adam Copeland appears on Tron and tells Black to be careful what he wishes for and that he'll see him soon. So what do you think about them dropping gallons of fake blood on to Malachi Black?
I actually kind of like it. I thought the bloodbath is good. It's Edge's thing. Even when they try to do it in WWE with the purple, because they're like, we don't want real blood with TV PG. Like, that was asinine and stupid. I like these types of callbacks. You know what I mean? That stuff's good, especially if Malachi Black is a cat-loving Muay Thai Satanist. It doesn't mean he can't be covered in blood. And it gets Edge back to what the whole end of the story is Malachi trying to draw out the psychopath, the wrestling addict, and down his family and get in his head. So Edge just flipped the switch himself and did be careful what you wish for in the demon you're bringing back out. So I liked that little stunt at the end. I thought that was one of the things that stood out on this show to me of like, okay, that'll be good clips for online, and it's, nostalgia for the hardcore fans who remember all that. So that part I didn't mind. I know Taz was hot that he got shit on his suit. He was fucking
what
pissed.
the hell? We got smashed too. I'm covered in blood.
yeah. So that really made me laugh too. But I had to go back to this match because I don't know Kyle. I think I might have worked one show with Kyle O'Reilly when he was tagging with. Oh no, I didn't. Who's the other dude, Muay Thai, who was in the Cool Kids clique? He got released. He was in WWE too.
Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish. And I've said this before. I love the way Bobby Fish mixes in Muay Thai into his pro wrestling. He's really got it down. This was not that. This was like guys who train and went in on for themselves like, we're going to work shoot tonight, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and make it look like a work shoot. And even Taz was like, we need more of this in wrestling. And I don't mind it, but it's got to be done the right way. So what are we missing? We're missing timing. We're missing sequences so we can set things up with a rhythm, because rhythm of the wah, 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 or duck one, come back, da, 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 ba, 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 is what's in the physicality of how we train. And that has a psychological effect on the human DNA and how we respond to rhythms and rules of three and paying things off on a comeback. You hit a person with three big things, or you pin, 1, 2, kick out. We pin on 3, 1, 2. Everything's got a rhythm. So when you're doing this egregious shit because you're a mark for fucking MMA, except you're in pro wrestling because you don't like getting hit for real, and you want to mix that in, okay. But I sent it to Johnny Publix, and what they tried to do in the finish is this, and it's not the real way things go. This is real. This is American Top Team. Boom. Now you're knocked out. So they wanted to try and do that. Instead, we got a lot of this. Little kids day one, right?
Right.
And that's what we're looking at. And it's business exposing bad from guys we've seen be top tier professional wrestlers in the ring. Both of them grade A technicians in what they do. But when they want to go, I want to do a work shoot, and we'll do the Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and da-da-da-da, and then you do this knockout and come back, but then in the match, they start going into pro wrestling. So we do Muay Thai, the guy's rocked. All of a sudden, Kyle O'Reilly goes from rocked to being able to throw a fucking spin kick or a flying knee, because I got to get my shit in, don't you know? And now the rhythm's gone. The believability of the sell is gone, because I'm right back to fucking, I'm going to the Kumite to fucking, to fight Frank Dukes, because I got a front teep. And it's in slow motion. Why? Because a real front teep needs to snap and fucking hurt somebody and hit him in the stomach. If you did a fast, real front teep in a pro wrestling match, nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to have time to react to it. So we have to slow it down, and now it looks like a fucking stupid old Wu-Tang Kung Fu fucking movie. You know, like, I can block this or catch your fist out of the air. Like, they wanted to try something. They went into biz for themselves, and that type of worked shoot style 90% of the time comes off looking more phony than pro wrestling does, because all you're trying to do now is really do real shoot fighting and not hurt each other. Nope. Brothers, if you want to do that and you've trained long and hard for that, both of them have, whether it's Dutch style kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, whatever it is, guess what? Go have a real fucking fight in AEW. Say, we're going to fucking, yeah, we know pro wrestling. Build do a blood feud that goes beyond wrestling where you guys can get your shit in and then kick the shit out of each other. Well, we don't want to hurt each other. Well, then stop doing this fucking work shoot shit because it's business exposing bad. Either fight or don't fucking fight. It's one, do pro wrestling. You can't have it both ways, no matter how much you want to blur that line of, like Taz said, pancreas or whatever the fuck it is. It just doesn't look good, and the crowd doesn't respond to it because you're not hitting that internal rhythm of the match. You're just getting your shit in.
Get your shit in. Get your shit in. Well, after this, we had a video package hyping up Anarchy in the Arena between the Elite and AEW. Then we went to an AEW Worlds match, tag team match. Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May defeating Saraya and Harley Cameron. Of course, the big story of this is what happened up as the match concluded. Serena Deeb showed up post-match, attacked Luther and Mariah May with a chair before slamming the high heel of her shoe right into Storm's forehead, and then she placed a steel chair on top of Storm and locked in the Serenity Lock until officials arrived to pull off the champion. Now, I liked the stuff. I don't like the fact that after she pulled off the heel, we then had to go close-up shots of Serena's feet. That's disgusting. Fuck you, AEW. But other than that, I really liked this whole scene. Go ahead, Vin.
Yeah, I'm going, why are we having heels wrestle heels?
It was a little confusing there too, yeah.
Yeah, we're bagging on the girls who are doing great character because they're supposed to be heels and getting heat. But then these other girls who are the goth, mean, psycho girls, like, okay, so who do I fucking want to cheer for here? I guess the girls with character who are more entertaining. And then Serena, who's the professor and supposed to be neutral good with all the technician stuff, comes down and turns heel because the crowd is booing her because Toni Storm's entertaining. And now Serena, who was supposed to be the baby face, who is the neutral good one and get over, is now puts a chair on her and puts her in a Boston Crab and screams, "Ah!" That's not baby face. So going into your pay-per-view, you turned your baby face heel.
It was very confusing. I was like, why did Serena knock her out? That was the only thing. It was very odd.
Serena also dressed like she just won the gold medal in the fucking Winter Olympics in figure skating. I like the outfit. I think she looks beautiful.
She looked great, yeah.
That's a baby face outfit.
It is.
And now you're doing heel shit. These are the fucking asinine choices backstage before a pay-per-view where you're turning somebody that way. If you were going to do something, you keep Serena, baby, all the way through the pay-per-view. She loses to Toni Storm. That's what makes her snap. She fucking hits Toni Storm with the chair, then puts it on her, then does the Boston Crab afterwards. That's the cause and effect of turning someone heel. Not 3 days before you switch your characters in like that. This is amateur hour when it comes to the creative, bro.
Yeah.
The other thing, if they wanted to get her over, I loved what they did on Collision, even though the only place I saw it was Instagram, and it got more fucking views than it did on Collision, that's for sure. Is taking Deep's flag and doing the fucking striptease thing where she did it, right? They started to do it again at that one last night. Toni goes to take her top off, and before she pulls a ribbon or whatever, they get to the violence. But she should have taken her tits out, and then fucking once Serena grabs that, Toni covers her bare breasts with her hand, so she's standing there topless. So we get that visual, and then Serena hits her with the shoe so she can't block herself. Then when Toni falls back, tits out. I would have gone tits out and with a black bar across it, or just fucking cut to old school. We'll be right back. Experiencing technical difficulties. The
Young Bucks or something.
Like, you fucking got it because it's old school Toni Storm shit.
Right.
But amateur hour, bro. Amateur hour.
We're getting here to the conclusion of the show here. Bullet Club was backstage. Said if Death Triangle wants a shot at the titles, they need to earn them. So they got to earn them at Collision. They're gonna be in some sort of eliminator match. Main event, Bryan Danielson defeated Satnam Singh. This is what they were pumping up with Satnam Singh, former NBA player for the Dallas Mavericks, been in AEW for the last couple of years. Bryan Danielson locked Satnam Singh in the label lock. Jarrett and Lethal attacked him, ending the match in a disqualification. Danielson was outnumbered and beat down. The Young Bucks come out to pay off Sanjay's crew and take over, attacking Danielson on their own. Danielson reverses the EVP trigger and starts to attack Matt, but Nicholas and Okada and Jack Perry come out and they all take him down. The Elite drags Danielson to the stage and tries to put him through a table off the stage, but a car shows up in the parking lot, and it's Darby Allin, and he's coming into the building. The internet notes that it was Tony Khan driving Darby Allin into the building. Darby Allin comes out with flamethrower, and the distraction allows Danielson to put Nicholas through a table as Dynamite goes off the air. Flamethrower, pal. Fire. Give me fire.
Yeah. If you got fire, what do you got to do with it?
Burn somebody. Burn something. Why didn't we burn the table and then throw Nick through the table?
You got, like, just the fact, exactly. Have the table sitting there, you're thinking exactly, have the table sitting there with fucking lighter fluid on it. Darby just fucking touches it off. Table goes up to make it look like the flamethrower is that powerful, and now it's flaming table, and then you throw them through it. Instead, hey, I brought this fucking gun to the battle, but let's fisticuffs it up instead. Like, not going to shoot anybody, just going to wave it around. Okay, it was a cool visual, but it didn't, nobody got their face burned off, no tables got lit on fire, no flag or symbolic amulet of some type got destroyed by it, right? Like, there needed to be some destruction. Instead, everyone's just going, hey, look at Tony Khan bought an Elon Musk flamethrower because he's got money to piss away. Darby, go out and touch it off a couple times. Yay! Like, that's the fucking level we're playing at right here, bro.
Fred Durst says you could also do it all for the nookie. Yeah, I agree, Fred. We could do it all for the nookie. But then, you know, you can take that cookie and stick it up your yeah.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
let's go back, actually, because this is a good, and this just makes me proud of the Bearcat. Well, I just want to say it is a running bit because Kevin says, did I miss most of the show? Fred Durst says, yeah, just rewind and keep rolling. Kevin, equally brilliant, says, thank you, Fred. I'll just do it. It's my way. It's my way or the highway. And then Fred says, you know, you could. So let's get the whole bit in. Brilliant job this morning, guys. I'm not on my game, so I'm glad you're playing out. When I say this shit on Russo, how is it that the Bearcats at home, I'll tell you why, because they fucking listen and sit under a real learning tree every day. When I say find the game, play it out, heighten and explore, our fucking audience in the chat room understands it. The people on TV inside the bubble have no fucking clue how to do what these two gentlemen just did in a little play of words. We could keep going up and up and up and up and up and play out the game of, have faith. I'll watch the show. Whatever Limp Bizkit fucking lines you want to keep putting out there. But without hitting it right in the face and calling it out, our audience is 10 times more brilliant than the writing staff of the TV show we're reviewing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I like them, pal. Hit you and quit you. Get on out of here.
That's going to do it for this edition of AEW's
Thank God.
Light the Fuse Dynamite review show. Of course, you can check out channelattitude.com. Sign up today for $5 a month, and you can get access to all the latest and greatest Hami Media Group content. Bobo says,
Yep, Bobo gets it. Where was the new Reebok drops? That should have been the whole fucking thing. Comes out with their shoes, lights them on fire. Could have even thrown a couple $3 AEW video games on the pile and fucking touched it off on those too.
You can sign up for channelattitude.com, Hami Media Group, $5 a month. You get the Monday locker room, the Wednesday locker room, the Friday locker room when it appears sometimes, the Impact Attack, the Next Level review, the Smack Attack, the Collision Crew, and so much more. The Pro Wrestling Reflection It's all there. Check it out, channelattitude.com. You can also sign up for russobrand.com while you're there, and you can get the Castrated the Mark Show, the Raw and the SmackDown Review Show with Ben Hameen, Stevie Richards, and Vince Russo, where, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Vince Russo was hot this week. So go back and check that out. And you can check out some of the clips as well on all of our social medias at Hameen Media Group. Or you can go to patreon.com/RussoTWC, sign up for Master Shoot Theater. I mean, hopefully Ben brings in a flamethrower here. I mean, if AEW's doing it.
You're goddamn right.
Of course, you can check out my podcast, the South Park podcast, SMB, a South Park review. 228 episodes available on demand right now. Also, shout out to my boys, my editors, Darren Hart and Joe the Tech Guy Morin, who's now been editing for me as well, HMG member. And he just got a promotion. He just got a promotion in his career. So shout out to you, Joe, moving your way up the ladder as well. That's all I got, Ben. What else you got before we got to go?
Yeah, man, I'm just going hard as fuck all week here at Ravens Joint. You guys, thanks for all that support as always. That Wednesday, Thursday is a serious Bearcat for me to take on. As you guys can see, and my eyes are pretty tired, but y'all, man, we don't stop here. So I'm glad to be back with you, MSG, to break it down. You know, I want the best for the people that I know and care about when I see things like these errors constantly while we're trying to make the art the best we can. It is befuddling, but at the end of the day, it's fucking phony pro wrestling, and I'm almost out the door anyway. So I'll say what I got to say and do what I got to do. And if any of them have a problem with it, send Don Stevens over and we'll go have a lovely lunch together.
And check out Ben Hameen as well in the latest episode of Keeping It 100. I forgot to put that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Cafe de Rene too. So I want to big up all those shows. Great time and an awesome shout out. I always love my Rip Rogers shout outs too. He always pops the fuck. I mean, Ripper with the big Hameen beard, he might be joining the insurgency here soon. So I love it, man.
They got rid of Ben in New York. Y'all fucked up. You got rid of y'all try to screw over Ben. Don't make him bring in his fucking mentor, because the mentor he's got the beard. It's gonna be
man. You're just gonna keep pressing along, man. I thank you guys for being subscribers on channelattitude.com. That means the world to me and the rest of the staff. Shout out to Big Ray. Got his original Facebook back. So now he's got 2 Facebooks. So be careful for all the Big Ray you can handle. And all the producers here at HMG. Again, thanks to Brando for really picking up the slack for me on the watch-alongs to keep that part of the community trucking along. William Alicia for the Facebook group and everybody just having a good time, whether it's hockey or NBA or baseball, and sharing those memes and funny shit as it all goes down here, man. So, we'll keep an eye on the sheets. They'll discredit me. I'm a parasite. I'm a nobody. I'm a never has been. But I probably made more money this week than they did in the whole month.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
You got it, my man. And shout out to the Conspiracy Horsemen. Love you and miss you guys. Appreciate you subscribing. It was AEW Dynamite where the fuse was lit with a goddamn flamethrower, pal. Holy shit. Yeah.